Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LongWalker's Is He or Isn't She? Today, I'm going to be talking about Imane Kalif. I think I'm saying that right. And about all the controversy that's gone on. And, most people know about the Olympics now in 2024. Um, I would say it's a he. I mean, just by the stature, I'll be going over all that. I've got some good video and stuff like that to go over. But I mean, I've gone over a lot of pictures and even of bodybuilders for women of all this stuff, and I just do not see this person being a true woman. This person is built big, and you'll see within my first stuff that'll be set up on the screen here in a second that I am gonna, the average height for a woman in Algeria, 'cause that's where this person's from. It's Algeria. And the average height was like 5'2". I think he said 2.5 or something. And Maine is 5'10". I mean, even their average size of their guys there is 5'7". So I mean, it really just all depends on how you want to look at it. It could just be a tall woman, but there's been more proof that came out otherwise. So we'll start looking over some stuff and just seeing here. Start with this. Like I said, my last article thing, that's all it said was, the average height for women and this and that. I've got your typical bodybuilder for women here, how they look. So let's get that bigger so you guys can see. There we go. Okay, now you can see this is what the average bodybuilder looks like, and a lot of it I still see the sloped shoulders or some straight across, but for the most part it's the sloped shoulders still. Now we'll move on to. Here's this person in question. This person is very tall. The arms are long. I mean, long. And that was one of the people's problems. She was knocked out in, I think, not knocked out, but took a knee, this other woman, at 46 seconds in, because she said she got 2 hits taken from her. And the 2 hits were the hardest that she's ever felt in her 13 years of boxing. She said, she was like, there's no way. She's like, those are the hardest hits I've ever taken. So, I mean, it tells you a lot there. It really does. Okay. Now, this is search results. This says, based on the provided search results, it's crucial to clarify. I mean, this is all book stuff, so sorry. Imane Kalif was not stripped of her 2024 Olympic gold medal. Here's a breakdown of the situation. False claims online reports, notably from social media posts and certain publications, falsely claimed that Imane Kalif was stripped of her gold medals and potentially banned from boxing due to her gender identity. These claims often referenced a non-existent ban by the World Boxing Organization. Now, not necessarily did it, because she is right now barred. She was barred from boxing as of right now until she takes a gender test. That is crucial, because there's been no evidence either way of what this person is so far.
And it's refusing.
Yeah, and it refused because it dropped out of its next competition because of this. It said, it's okay, I'm not doing it. So now my question is going to be, will this person truly come forward and either fess up or take the test or whatever to prove either way what the situation is here? Because there is a test that this is the WBO, I think it's like the IOC or something, IOC down here, that in 2023, that this person took a gender test and that's what's leaked right now, is the test results. It states that she has male chromosomes. And I'm sorry, science doesn't lie no matter how much these left people want to go and say, well, no, it's about what you identify as, what you want to be. We don't live in a fantasy world, ladies and gentlemen. We don't live in this, you pick what you want to be. You're either male, which is XY, right? Or female, which is XX. I mean, it's that simple. And it can be that easy. It says the WBO response. The WBO explicitly stated that they did not test or ban Kalif and lacked jurisdiction over amateur boxers like her. They confirmed that any such reports were false and likely ill-intentioned. There's the IOC, which I said earlier, stands, International Olympics Committee, which oversaw the 2024 Paris Olympics boxing tournament, confirmed that all athletes competing in the women's category, including Kalif, meet the eligibility criteria based on their passport details, which means what they were trying to say is if it says female on the passport, they're a female. Which, I'm sorry, it's really not that simple because in today's day and age, there's so many loopholes within them.
It's a security issue.
It's a big security issue, yes.
And the IOC didn't do a very good job of overseeing a lot of things in the Olympics.
No, they didn't. The Olympics, in my personal opinion, the Olympics was a complete disaster. You know, France did a terrible job on hosting. And it was just, you know, it's the whole ideology of the woke agenda, and it went way out there, and they tried to better what the U.S. is doing. I mean, it's ridiculous, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's see the next part. Okay. We spread that one. The previous disqualification. The controversy stems from a previous disqualification from Kalif from the 2023 World Championship by the International Boxing, because the IBA, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, the IOC was what oversaw the Olympics. It's the IBA that did this test and banned Kalif from further women's competitions. Because by all means, please, with the chromosomes and with what you have, please go ahead and go to the male league and box. I mean, that's not an issue. We're not saying don't box, but please do not go and just pick on women and ruin women's rights for what they are. You know, we can't just go and be like, you know, some guy, you know, big old buff, like bodybuilder guy who comes in, yeah, I'm a female.
Well, my thing is even if it ends up being intersex, and even if it does by some chance have that extra chromosome or whatever, it's the production of testosterone that's going to be the main deciding factor.
Exactly.
And so if the testosterone tests higher than what they would normally allow women to have because of dosing, then it should not be allowed to box against women.
Well, see, that's exactly what Pepper and I have talked about a lot. It's that if they test Kalif and he falls under the guidelines of what the levels of testosterone and everything are, then by all means, I mean, then maybe come up with something. But more than likely, that person's not going to pass the testosterone levels. And if they don't, it needs to be like any other woman out there. You need to make it where it's like, no, you're over those limits. You know, maybe the first offense would be like for most, I think, is okay, you can't do this fight. If it happens again, okay, you're barred for a month. And so forth. However much harsher the steps need to get. You know, and I mean, if she could fall under those lines, then, you know, maybe work something out. But I mean, these female boxers are saying that they never stood a chance when you watch some of the videos. And I mean, being hit twice and being like, I can't take anymore. You know, to a professional boxer of 13 years, that just doesn't happen.
And you were telling me that the last fight that you watched with, I think the lady was from China.
Yeah, China.
She was the same height.
But it doesn't look like it.
It really wasn't. It was like the body stature is completely different. She just, I don't know.
Exactly. So, okay. The IBA, due to unspecified gender eligibility test, the IOC has since struck the IBA of its recognition due to governing issues and questions the vitality of their testing. Continued eligibility, Kalif was cleared to compete in the Paris Olympics by the AOC and went on to win a gold medal. Like I said, the only thing that the AOC asked was literally that passport. Does it say female on the passport?
That's scary.
So, I mean, knowing that she had failed a test regardless of the situations, regardless of them saying, well, no, those tests don't qualify, those tests aren't good enough. I don't care. There should have been more demanded. Because these females, especially, it's the freaking Olympics for crying out loud, the top of the top. These women deserve the chance to go on and win their titles, win their, boxing championship.
The whole reason they created a separate league.
And if the transgender wants, or she might not be transgender this one. We don't know. She might think that she really is a female, but there's more going on. We don't know, ladies and gentlemen. But she does know that something's up, and she's still trying to compete as a woman. Therefore, that makes her guilty.
And what's happening now with like Trump, he rolled that back, at least here in America, that you cannot lie on your passport. What's on your passport has to be the same as your birth sex.
Yeah, here. But then this person's Algerian, so I don't know what. I'd have to look up the laws there. Or what the AOC, I guess, would they qualify it under. That's where it would all lie to. I don't know. It's like, yeah, but see, the next Olympics is here.
Right.
That's why Trump's talking on it.
Right.
It's a 2028 one in Los Angeles, which that's a whole nother video, ladies and gentlemen. There's a lot going on that it's like, are you kidding me with this Olympics coming up?
And especially with our governor and stuff.
Especially here in California, yeah, trying to clean up the trash. And when I say the trash, I mean they're really working on it. And they're disguising it as a lot of different things. We'll go over that in a different video, I'm sure of. And it says, in summary, despite claims and controversial surroundings, her gender eligibility, Kalif's 2024 Olympic gold medals remains. But see, we're right now in the midst of trying to settle all of this, trying to figure out if the claims and the test that was showed is legit. Now, I don't know how much cover-ups already happened. I don't know how much cover-up as far as even higher, worldwide cover-up is going on here. I mean, there's something more going on that they don't want you knowing. But hopefully some reasoning will come in and there will be more done. That's what I'm hoping. I mean, we are coming out of the woke world. And we're actually stepping up and doing a lot more. So, I mean, as seen with the Pride Parades this year, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, their sponsors are dropping left and right. There's none sponsoring the way that they were a year, 2 years before. Thank God for that. And as of right now, my plan, ladies and gentlemen, still is to be at the San Francisco one. So we'll keep you up to date. I know I'm not doing lives at the moment, but we'll keep you guys up to date. We'll do the best that we can. I'm hoping to get a few more videos out since I'm not doing lives to get to you guys. So let's see. Okay, here's the Newsweek article. Olympic champion Imane Kalif is back in headlines after a media outlet alleged that a leaked, and we can't say it's official, a leaked medical report, as they described it, showed the Algerian boxer's biological sex was male rather than female. The report from Three Wire Sports is unconfirmed. That's what it means. Unconfirmed, they haven't done the right steps yet. Newsweek has reached out to a legal representative for Kalif via email for comment, and also to Angelina Carini, who withdrew from a fight with Kalif at the 2024 Paris Games. That's what I told you about. That's her, Angela Carini. She's the one that took the knee. The context. Kalif, 26, won women's welterweight gold. Yeah, she won it all right. At the Paris Olympics, amid an intense row over gender eligibility. She had previously competed in the Tokyo Olympics, but was disqualified. That's the one we were talking about earlier. She was disqualified in that one. From the 2023 World Championship by the International Boxing, IBM. for allegedly failing gender eligibility test, which means we don't know if she actually failed it or if she just didn't take it. Because they said there's been no confirmation.
Too many questions there, too much of an error for them to just be like, no, that's,
You're fine. Just go ahead and go beat up females.
Yeah, there's just too much going on there.
Yeah. Kalif was then cleared to compete in the Paris Olympics by the International Olympic Committee, the IOC. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the one that really doesn't have specifications. It's like, oh, it says it on your passport. Cool, you're good. You're female. The IOC stripped the IBA of its status as the sport's amateur governing body in June 2023 over concerns about how it was run. Well, I've got concerns about how the IOC is run. Said that competitors were eligible to compete in the women's division for Paris. The gender on their passport said that they were female. There you have it, straight from them.
They even say they.
Yeah.
They don't say she.
Everybody likes it.
The row over. Let's make sure you go too far here. I'm sorry. Okay, there's that. I won't continue on. That's the one I read. Okay. The row over Kalif's biological sex became prominent on social media during the 2024 Paris Games after she faced Italy's Carini in a women's welterweight preliminary bout. The match lasted 46 seconds, with Kalif landing 2 punches before Carini withdrew and was visibly emotional. She was very emotional, ladies and gentlemen. And what kind of gets me mad is if this is all true, if this comes out to be true, they made Carini apologize for the things that she said. Go look it up, ladies and gentlemen. Carini versus Kalif. It was horrendous. And I mean, they made her apologize still, and she had to come out with an official apology. And to me, she has demanded. I would demand by the AOC to have a major apology if this is true. I mean, this is not right. IOC spokesperson Mark Adams said at the time that Kalif was born female, was registered female, and lived her life as a female, boxed as a female, and has a female passport. The IOC has maintained that this is not a transgender issue, and not necessarily doesn't have to. We don't know any more about it yet. Like I said, she could think she's a female. Maybe her parents told her all along, or the doctors did. But I mean, you can have, the intersex is one of the biggest possibilities here. And she can look female, like more so like the parts, but she's still going to have the testosterone and everything else for bigger issues.
Wait, why deny the testing?
I know. Yeah, exactly. Why not just put it out? The Three Warrior Sports reported, published on June 1st, 2025, alleged that the outlet was the only one to have seen chromosome tests given amid the ABA's 2022 and 2023 World Championship. The report included a screenshot of the alleged test results, which appeared to have been cut in half. It is unclear how the outlet accessed these test results, or if they are legitimate. The article claimed that Kalif had a female karyotype, an individual complete set of chromosomes.
I think it's pyrotype.
Pyrotype? Okay. However you say that, I'm trying to say it the best that I can. I mean, there you have it. I mean, if these tests are legit and gotten legitly, then this is just how it is. Okay. Now, This is let's see. James, a conservative activist, wrote on X. This is Riley James. To all the people that insist Imane Kalif was a woman because his passport said so, and again, that's how I think too. You were wrong. We are right. Sincerely, people with functioning eyes and a shred of honesty. I mean, enough said there, but I mean, I think it's still premature because there are more factors that they're looking into. But I mean, it's looking really good on their part when Khalid doesn't want to take these tests and is backing out of more boxing because of it.
And if they say it's because of like privacy issues, it's like I'm sorry, but that's the way athletes are always treated. Like they do own you. You are
Yes.
for sale, and you are a commodity. And they do all kinds of stuff to men, groping. Like you know, you have to bare yourself fully. Why should women not have to as well?
Exactly.
You know, I'm sorry that it's the way that it is.
Yes.
If you're going to be an athlete, you know, you're going to be subjected to some kind of embarrassing stuff, but that's just the way that it goes.
Exactly. And you know, it's like they talk about, well, you know, these physicals that we're gonna have to undergo, or we're gonna have to do this or that.
They're invasive.
They're invasive. Well, yes. I mean, what do males do for physicals to go to football? I mean, it is what it is. You're in the sport that you chose to be in.
And here's what kind of tips me off that they may not be female anyway, because if you want to talk about being invasive, like we have to go to gynecologists a lot, and that's like very invasive. You have to put your feet in the stirrups. They do examinations down there and everything.
Exactly.
So it's like you would think if you were female, you'd be used to that, right?
Yeah. Especially in a sport that you get hit like that, I'm sure they have to do it several times.
Yeah. It's like just routine stuff is common. So I have my doubts.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, now Rowling's posted on X. I never said what?
J.K. Rowling?
J.K. Rowling's, yeah. I never said and never believed Khalid was trans. I knew. He was a man, the gender activist who created a political climate in which sex testing was seen as bigoted, or as culpated as the IOC for the travesty and ensued via a highly credible source who saw his test results. So I think they ripped up his test results and somebody found it. I think is what happened. Because they said it was ripped in half.
Oh.
So on May 30th, World Boxing announced that all athletes over the age of 18 who want to participate in its competitions will need to undergo testing to determine their sex at birth and eligibility to compete. World Boxing mentioned Khalid by name in the announcement on June 2nd. The organization's president, Boris van der Horst, formally apologized for this through a letter to the Algerian Boxing Federation. In a letter seen by the Associated Press, he said, I am writing to you all personally to offer a formal and sincere apology for this, and acknowledge that her privacy should have been protected. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this just keeps getting better. They keep trying to cover this up like you would not believe. Like, we shouldn't have to do this. Her privacy should have been protected.
There's no privacy.
But there's no privacy within the sports.
If you're an athlete.
If you're an athlete, you need to be tested regularly to make sure everything's good. You know, they're supposed to do these drug testing anyway to make sure that they're not on drugs. What's the difference?
Exactly.
Will Khalid be stripped of her gold medals? In an email shared with Newsweek, an IOC spokesperson said the IOC has always made it clear that eligibility criteria are the responsibility of the respective international federation. The factors that matter to sports performance are unique to each sport, discipline, and or event. We await the full details of how sex testing will be implemented in a safe, fair, and legally enforceable way. So yes, I look forward to seeing that and seeing what they're planning on doing. Lorraine Lambelet Coleman, a Thomas L. Perkins Distinguished Professor of Laws at Duke Law School, told Newsweek over email The IOC would not revoke medals won by athletes who were eligible according to the rules it set for the boxing competition in Paris. Unlike the eligibility rules set by the ABA and now WB, those rules did not require competitors to be biological. Wow. Hear that? Okay, it says that they're not taking the medals back for her because they're going to respect going off of what the rules were at the time of the Olympics. And it says that it does not require females to be biological females.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know how they're going to get it moving.
They're covering a lot here, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, this is what happens next. In March, interview with the British broadcaster ITV, Kalif made clear that she intends to compete for a second Olympic gold medal at the Los Angeles Games in 2028. In the same interview, when asked about President Donald Trump forcing schools and athletic organizations to ban transgender girls and women from competition in girls' sports, and it's going to be here in California, like I said, so it'll be interesting to see what happens here. She said, "I will give you a straightforward answer. The U.S. president issued his decision related to transgender policy in America. I am not..."
From a humble childhood in rural Algeria to a viral fight to the Paris Olympics, Algerian
Okay, you're just saying that I am not that, nor, nor am I worried about it, pretty much is what the way she worded it. So, I mean, those are her words, but yet she still won't do a test.
Right.
So we shall see, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's going to be an interesting couple of months, and even more so wait up until the Olympics. But I think it's going to come out a lot more, and she will not be at the 2028 Olympics. I'm almost betting it. So.
But they will probably play it off that it was something else, and it didn't have anything to do with this.
Yeah. It's ridiculous. Alright, so I've got a couple of news sources here. This is the untold truth of Olympic boxer Imane Kalif I've got. So we're going to watch this. And then we'll move on.
boxer Imane Kalif has made a name for herself. Here's what we know about her. Imane Kalif was born in 1999 in Thier, Algeria, a city of fewer than 150,000 at that time, and which sits in a wider region of the same name. Far from the wealth of Algeria's capital city Algiers and flanked by North Africa's Atlas Mountains, the province of Thieret relies heavily on agriculture, and Kalif's family were no strangers to poverty. Her father worked in the Saharan deserts as a welder, spending long periods away from their remote village, and while the occupation of her mother is unknown, Kalif made it clear in an interview with UNICEF that their finances were sorely stretched when she decided to pursue boxing at the age of 16. The initial hurdles she faced were not just the cost of equipment or gym memberships or personal trainers. Just the bus fare to travel the 10 kilometers to the nearest gym was enough of a hindrance. It also didn't help that she could not approach her father for the funds, since he didn't approve of her newly chosen sport. But undeterred, the teenage Kalif found ways to raise the funds, saying in an interview with Canal Algérie, "I happened to sell bread in the street. I collected dishes and other objects to earn money and to be able to move around because I came from a very poor family." Growing up in rural Algeria, Kalif was surrounded by a deeply conservative culture that has still yet to fully embrace women's rights. But even before she turned to boxing in her mid-teens, young Kalif was challenging these cultural norms with her prowess at soccer. Athletic by nature, Kalif fell in love with a sport that was largely seen as a boys' game. She also attracted plenty of the wrong sort of attention for being a girl who played soccer, let alone being a gifted player, with local boys mercilessly taunting and even physically attacking her. But as fate would have it, her ability to hold her own in those fights, with her natural speed and agility helping her dodge the punches of her tormentors, cracked open the door to the world of boxing. Kalif went on to describe how she was encouraged to take up boxing by a teacher who had seen her potential, and that she was further inspired after watching women's boxing during the 2016 Olympics held in Brazil. After one training session, she was hooked and didn't look back. Since finishing 17th in the 2018 AIBA Women's World Boxing Championships, after just 3 years of training, Kalif has proven herself as a world-class boxer. She continued her career as a lightweight with medal finishes in 5 major tournaments, including 3 gold medals in 3 separate regional games in 2022 and 2023, and was a quarterfinalist in Tokyo's 2020 Summer Olympics. And so while Kalif certainly earned a reputation as a fierce fighter, she's not exactly a legendary one either. But in the 2024 Summer Olympics, after a victorious final 16 fight against Italy's Angela Carini, Kalif found herself in the limelight, and not for the reasons she may have hoped. The Olympic women's boxing match between Kalif and Carini lasted a mere 46 seconds, with Kalif winning the fight after a flurry of punches caused Carini to dramatically bow out. Reports of Carini's tearful forfeiture, combined with her reportedly describing Kalif's strikes as far more powerful than anything she'd experienced before, rapidly drew unfair criticism of Kalif. It certainly did not help that the International Boxing Association, which for various reasons has been disavowed by the International Olympic Committee since 2019, had disqualified Kalif from their 2023 World Championships for vague, unsubstantiated gender tests. The International Olympic Committee later defended Kalif's participation in the Olympics.
I think we all have a responsibility, by the way, to try to dial down this and not turn it into some kind of witch hunt.
The truth is, with 9 defeats by other female opponents over the course of her career, Kalif's boxing record is impressive, but not extraordinary. Imane Kalif is greeted by her fellow Algerians with roars of cheers at boxing tournaments, and in 2024, Kalif found a way to get back to her country. Algeria, like any other nation, has its fair share of pressing issues, and according to Kalif, one of them is a lack of recognition of the health benefits that sport can bring to children. In January 2024, Kalif took on another role, National Ambassador for UNICEF, the child-focused humanitarian branch of the vast and complex UN, hoping to spread sports awareness and inspiration for both parents and children. Girls in particular are a focus for Kalif in a country that has historically restricted opportunities for women, but she hopes that her message and example will benefit all Algerians, saying in an interview with UNICEF, "Many parents are unaware of the advantages of sports and how it can improve not only your physical fitness, but also your mental well-being."
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that was one of the videos, and that was, just a thing about her, what she's been through. And I'm showing you all this so that you can make up your own mind on what you think might be going on here. I would love to hear it in the comments, ladies and gentlemen. I got one more video that we'll go over right here about this whole situation, but please tell me in the comments what you all think, and I mean, what's your comments on this? Do you think it's a woman? Do you think it's a man? Let me know.
There has been much debate regarding the eligibility of one particular Olympic boxer this year. Now, a staggering victory has earned her a seat in the quarterfinals. Algerian boxer Imane Kalif defeated her first opponent, Italian Angela Carini, at the 2024 Paris Olympics in their women's preliminary welterweight fight just 48 seconds into the match. Carini, who forfeited, was left on her knees in tears after the referee declared Kalif the winner. Carini, who noted her refusal to continue was not a political statement, said she made the decision to forfeit after feeling, quote, severe pain in her nose, according to CNN. She continued, and with the maturity of a boxer, I said enough because I didn't want to. I couldn't finish the match. Kalif was previously barred from the 2023 Women's World Boxing Championships for failing an unspecified gender eligibility test that the International Boxing Association, or IBA, said found elevated testosterone levels and detected XY chromosomes. The same governing body let her play in the light welterweight division at the 2022 World Championships in Istanbul, where she took home a silver medal. Notably, the IBA has not disclosed any information about this particular test. As the New York Times reports, it is unclear what that test entailed or how they were deemed ineligible because of it. The swift defeat led to a flurry of debate over the match and its fairness, with the New York Post reporting that Carini yelled, "This is unjust," after the fight ended. Yet, in the immediate aftermath of the tough loss, Carini did not appear to harbor any ill will toward her opponent, telling CNN, "I am not here to judge or pass judgment." Instead, Carini pointed to the principles of perseverance instilled in her as the biggest cause of her sadness. She explained, I am heartbroken because I am a fighter. My father taught me to be a warrior. I have always stepped into the ring with honor, and I have always served my country with loyalty, and this time I couldn't do it because I couldn't fight anymore, and so I ended the match. Still, she held her head high. She told reporters it's not her place to determine the fairness of the fight, and The Guardian reports she doesn't view the event as a, quote, defeat. She stated, "For me, if you go in the ring, you have already won, regardless of everything else. I'm not here to judge. It's not up to me to say if it's fair or not fair. I just did my job." Kalif's quick defeat of Karini and previous history of being barred from women's events sparked outcry from people on social media and in the news. Many believe that Kalif had an unfair advantage and should not have been allowed to participate in the Olympics despite her complying with all applicable medical regulations, according to the BBC. Notably, the IBA itself is no longer even recognized by the International Olympic Committee or IOC, so they're effectively barred from the Olympics themselves. For their part, the IOC has released a statement strongly advocating against the discrimination of any Olympic competitors and openly disavowing the methodology that led to Kalif's 2023 disqualification. The organization's statement addressed the scrutiny directed at both Kalif and Taiwanese boxer Lin Yuting, who was also disqualified from the 2023 Women's Boxing World Championship for the same reason. The statement read in part, "The current aggression against these two athletes is based entirely on this arbitrary decision, which was taken without any proper procedure, especially considering these athletes had been competing in top-level competition for many years." The IOC went on to proclaim, "Eligibility rules should not be changed during ongoing competition, and any rule change must follow appropriate processes and should be based on scientific evidence."
That this is not a transgender issue. These women have been competing in competitions for many years.
Kalif will go on to face Ana Luca Hamori, who told Reuters she is, quote, not scared and avoiding any social media and news stories around her opponent's previous match.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. I was trying to give you the best information that I found about it, and that's pretty much all that I have on it too. If we get any more, I'll do shorter videos or short to update what's going on. But please let me know, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that she should be banned, barred? Do you think she should be let go on and fight against the women? Or what's your opinion on this? So mine just stands that I do believe that it will come out that Kalif is a guy. I do believe that. And I think that there needs to be consequences for what she has done, the hits that she has given to these women, especially Karini, who took it so hard. And only 45 seconds to last. And so she had to look that weak to the world because of a man. Because a man stepped in that ring and wanted to fight. That is my biggest issue with it. Women need to have their own division for a reason. Let them have their division and go on. It's like this whole big issue of what is a woman. It's the easiest question to answer. You got men and you have women. Men, they stand up when they pee. They have, the front part, and then women.
Lily too.
What?
Like Lily too.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing.
That's a whole other thing too, Lily. Yes, but women can bear babies, and not all of them. Some.
Yeah, but
they have the parts there to do it. Yeah.
98% of women can.
Yes.
And I hate that argument that they try to bring up.
Oh, I know. But women can bear children, and they can, they're amazing with their pain tolerance. Guys have nowhere near that pain tolerance. But women can withstand giving birth. That's an amazing thing. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching, and more videos to come, I'm hoping. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen.